What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Purple Parlor, episode 11. The mood's a little different today. We're coming off an L, but it's part of the game. We're gonna get down to it, and we got a lot to talk about, but we're gonna get right down to it right after this.
I say the same. I say the same. I say the same. Alright.
What is going on, guys? Welcome in. This is the Purple Parlor. It's your boy SK, Realistic Randy, and Rap Mr. Vocal Vike himself. Welcome in, guys. And this is the first time we are coming into our show with a loss. It feels a little bit different today, guys. We're 5-1. We dropped to the Detroit Lions at home, 31-29. What's your guys' initial thoughts?
Let's come on, SK. Let's not do this soft intro.
This man always wants to
trying to do a rollout and hey everybody, how we feeling right now? Come on, man. No, get your shit off. Go ahead. We have a little bit of a disagreement, and that's okay.
You're the one with the problem here, sir.
I have zero problem.
All right, well, let me go first. Then I'll go.
Last night there was.
I'll go first, and everybody's super excited to join the show. I got to let y'all two fellas know, y'all were texting while I was live last night, so I was able to. I didn't read y'all texts out, but I was letting the crowd know that we got a little disagreement going on in the group text, man. You know what I mean? So make sure you're in Purple Parlor. So I'm sure the house is going to be packed tonight, just waiting to see what you guys got to talk about. But like overall, I still feel like, I low-key feel the same as I felt before the game, to be honest with you. Like, that's how I feel technically, because I look at this game, and when you look at the numbers of the game, dog, this shit was a coin flip, man. Like, this shit was like, the numbers are identical when you're talking about yardage, penalties, sacks, turnovers. Everything was right there. This is literally a neck-to-neck matchup, man. That's what that was. And I could see that being a game for the NFC Championship, man. Like, for real. Like, I could see a run back. You know what I mean? And hey, look, man, it's a loss. It hurts, but we got it out the way. I feel like, and we've talked about this on some shows before this, where we kind of want our team to go through something, and let's see how they bounce back. This is gonna mold the whole story of the season. Is okay, we took that L in week 7, but how do we bounce back from it? Because honestly, we have 5 games coming up where we should be able to go on another 5-game winning streak, man. That's dead ass, starting this Thursday. So that's my take on it, man. I'll let y'all fellas get the flow.
Facts.
Yeah, no one likes losing. We obviously weren't going into the game saying, hey, if we lose, it's totally fine. No, it's not. We took a L. We lost to a divisional opponent, divisional rival, the NFC North champs. This is our chance to kind of not necessarily take the throne of the NFC North, but kind of put our stamp on it for at least the first half of the season. And we weren't able to do that. Like Rap said, this game was a coin flip. Detroit's a very good team. Like, it's not the same Detroit Lions of the past. And when you play good teams like that, sometimes you don't come out on top. Those small mistakes, those small opportunities that you may miss in a game like this sway the game the other way. And that's kind of exactly what happened in this game. But I don't feel exactly the same as how I felt going into the Detroit game as I do now. I wouldn't necessarily say concerned. I guess that can be kind of our first question. Are we concerned about the Vikings? But it's not a good of a feeling for the team as it was before the game, if that makes sense.
I don't think the sky is falling by any means. You go 5-1. Rap, you talked about this last week, that if you end up losing in a competitive manner, that it's all well and good. At least that's something you can hang your hat on. You either win or you learn. And certainly I think that they have learned from their loss yesterday. So many different things that you can point out. As far as concern, I guess it depends on what your viewpoint is on the season. Mm-hmm. If you're content with making it to the playoffs and you can win a couple of games, I think this is fine. what they're doing right now, they can absolutely do it and build upon next year and the year after that. They're certainly building a solid foundation for this year and beyond. But I'm so aggressive in my take as far as this team can absolutely win a championship this year.
Yeah.
They are Super Bowl contenders. And if you have that mindset, I do have there's a couple of concerns you can bring up, but something that's valid. And I talked about it. It's KOC's play calling. Not even his play calling, it's his situational play calling. Because the scripted drives, he's a beast. He's the best in the league. The Vikings are number 1 in scoring in the first quarter, and it's because of those scripted drives. But then when it comes to adjusting to the adjustments that the opposing team does, that's where he kind of falls by the wayside. Against Green Bay, against the Jets, you get off to a big lead, and then you're just holding on for dear life until the clock hits 0 to narrowly get that win. Let's not confuse KOC's play calling with how I feel about him as a head coach. I think as a head coach, he's great. I think he's a leader of men. He's a natural born leader. The way that these players play with intensity, they play for him. They're buying what it is that he is selling. One of the things that I was questioning is, okay, how are you going to develop a quarterback? And what we saw of JJ McCarthy before he went down was super promising. And what he has done with this team, along with Kwesi Adafo-Mensah, he's put this team in a situation to where any competent, now, keyword here, any competent quarterback can come to this team and absolutely succeed. Look at Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's going to have his career best season this year. He's an MVP candidate. The only thing is the play calling. Calling out the play calling doesn't mean that, oh, I'm jumping ship on KOC. I want him fired or anything like that. I'm saying when you get to the playoffs, because this is a golden opportunity that you have this year, you want to tie up all loose ends. This isn't a knee-jerk reaction. This is what we've seen year over year. And I brought up examples in my video yesterday. But in the playoffs, the games are tight. You can't make those mistakes. Why are we, SK, down 28-20, where as bad as the offensive line was playing, you're down 8 points. You call up a trick play, a reverse play to Justin Jefferson, who's clearly supposed to throw a deep pass. The deep pass isn't there. So then he hesitates and he's trying to figure out, what do I do? He ends up taking off running, but that's a dangerous play in that situation. Jefferson is the most important player on this franchise, and him trying to figure out what to do now that the pass isn't there, he's a sitting duck in that situation where thankfully he didn't take a big hit from a defensive lineman or a linebacker. Why are we up 29-28, final play before you ultimately decided to punt? Why are we calling a play where you immediately snap the ball, you roll out to your right if you're Sam Darnold, and it's just one person to throw it to? Somehow 2 receivers were in the vicinity of that play. But why is it with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, it's either, and anecdotally speaking, it feels like it's either screens or verticals, nothing in between? What about the intermediate routes? What about the slants? What about the curls? What about the 5 and in plays? That's my thing with KOC. And the reason why I say he should probably give up play calling is because I don't know if he's ever going to change, because this is now the 3rd season that we're having these question marks.
Yeah, well, with me, it comes down to, obviously, like you said, situational. He's not perfect. There's no perfect play caller in the NFL. That's one thing that we need to kind of get out of our heads, that there's no coordinator ever in the history of the NFL that's called a perfect season and every game is completely perfect and every play is perfect. But my issue is more so with Sam Darnold. Now, obviously I'm not getting on the dude's neck because he's Sam Darnold.
Sure.
I mean, what he's given us so far is more than what we've expected. Can we all agree with that? We weren't expecting this out of Sam Darnold. But as the season kind of goes on, we're starting to see more chinks in the armor. And mostly it seems like Sam Darnold's game. And overall, you can look at the stats in this game, and Sam Darnold went 22 for 27, 259 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. So overall, he had a pretty good game, but there was a few plays where he left out there, and that was ultimately the difference in this game. And I'll pull up one of them right here. And this is actually the Jalen Naylor. He missed Jalen Naylor wide open down the seam of the field. It was a fake screen. They bid on it, and Jalen Naylor was wide open downfield. And this is something Sam that he needs to see instead of taking off. He needs to see Jalen Naylor, middle of the field.
Oh, yeah. Wide open.
See,
wow.
Yep.
Right here. And he hasn't even taken off running yet. You got to be able to see that. So when I hear that the play calling this, the play calling that, the play calling's there. There's a wide open receiver for a touchdown right there. So, and as it plays out, you see Sam Darnold kind of run, ends up getting the first down, good chunk gain. But that's the difference between a guy and Sam Darnold and a guy that you trust as your franchise quarterback. So I get the situational. There is somewhat of a little concern, but to give up play calling to a guy that's done a lot for this football team and a lot for the quarterback position and this offense. Now, how good is Wes Phillips? You really want Wes Phillips calling our offense? That's how bad you think KOC's play calling is that we need to give those duties to Wes Phillips?
We saw KOC in the playoffs, 4th and 8. It was a terrible play call. And 2 years later, we're still sitting here saying, okay, what went through your head when you made these play calls? I'm not saying it's all KOC. Certainly Sam Darnold shares a lot of blame. Hell, if you don't oversail Justin Jefferson on that 3rd down play of 29-28, throw it a half yard below where you actually threw it, I mean, the drive is still continuing. I understand that. Sam Darnold, he has his flaws, but it doesn't have to be an absolute thing. You know who Sam Darnold is, and this is the best that you're going to see, this version of Sam Darnold, and that's thanks to KOC. Credit where credit is due. That doesn't mean, well, look at everything he's done for the team and the system and all that stuff. You still have to play football. You still, it's still X's and O's. We can't just let it be. I think it's something where this head coach and the previous head coach, where it's just, unless you say everything is great, nothing to see here, I feel like there's an automatic, like objective critique where you say, hey, this is something we should probably take a look at. And you're met with the mob of pitchforks and go to hell and all this other stuff. I'm just saying we've seen this enough times. Like, okay, for example, Brian Flores, the defense got exposed yesterday.
Yeah.
But this is, to me, a one-off because all season long, we've seen the defense dominate. When you can't get a good enough pass rush, the corners get exposed for what they are. They can't guard these young bucks out here. We understand that, which is probably why they call mostly zone. So we'll see how he adjusts. Conversely, with KOC, this is not a one-off. He does stuff like this all the time. And that's my concern because the little stuff like that, that one little thing could be the difference between a playoff run and hoisting your first ever Lombardi trophy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's the risk that you take with a quarterback like Sam Darnold. You're somewhat limited. I mean, we're squeezing every bit of juice out of this orange and Sam Darnold, but there's certain things that we're just not going to get in compared to.
I'm not saying,
man. I'm not saying. Sorry, I'm not saying Sam Darnold is Brock Purdy, but they're kind of similar in the way of there's times where Brock Purdy misses passes or he misses open receivers, and that sometimes could cost his team a game. And that's exactly what Sam Darnold did. Now, it's not all Sam Darnold's fault. It's not all KOC's fault. It's not all Brian Flores and the defense's fault. It's a collective blame in this. But I wouldn't even think about giving up play calling duties from KOC and giving it to somebody else, especially with you're 5-1 right now. Like, there's no way in your head where you're like, we need a different play caller. Like, we need to move on. We need to put somebody else in there calling the plays. It's not going to happen. It shouldn't happen. Maybe you can consider that after the season where KOC sits down and says, you know what, maybe I just need to sit down and really focus on being the head coach of this football team and letting one of Wes Phillips or whoever the offensive coordinator is take over this play calling duties. But right now, you just don't do it. You just got to realize that with the quarterback like Sam Darnold, there is going to be some shortcomings. There's going to be a few. That's just something we're going to have to deal with throughout the season. But that doesn't sway my confidence too much in this team. I agree with you, Andy. I feel like this team can win a championship this year. Now, there's going to have to be some things that fall into place. Detroit is the big dog right now.
Yeah.
And we had them. We had them beat. We just needed one more stop. But you're playing a great team in Detroit. Like, you shouldn't be upset with losing by 2 points to a team like Detroit. We don't like losing at all, but hey, man, we're right there. It's 1 or 2 plays away from that being a different game.
Yeah.
I called this during the preview vid, Lions versus Vikings. I posted that video on Thursday. One of the main talking points is KOC, no goofiness. That you got to be locked in with your play calling. And what happened, he was goofy at times. That's all I'm saying. This is something that we've seen with now a third quarterback. First, it was Kirk Cousins, 4th and 8. Then it was Nick Mullins, Cincy, those QB sneaks that didn't work out with Brandon Powell as the push man, and now with Sam Darnold. But again, he's a great head coach. The sky isn't falling. He's a good head coach. Let me just say that. But as far as everything that he's done outside of play calling has been excellent. It's just this one little thing. There's no shame in if you have to eventually go down that road. Look at Dan Campbell. Look at I was going to say Nick Sirianni. They did go to a Super Bowl, but he's a pompous ass, and he's going to get fired at some point.
Let's not start.
just because you're not calling plays doesn't mean you can't be a great head coach. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Right. I don't think he's going to give it up. I agree with that, Scott. I mean, I think both could be true. Like, especially that last play, that last drive in particular, and the throw you were talking about, Randy, where he overthrew, Sam Darnold, threw it above.
It was just by like 5 inches. Like,
this is my issue with that play, though. Regardless of the throw, the play alone, if JJ catches that, he's still going to be out of bounds. You're stopping the clock. That whole drive was supposed to be about icing the game, kind of like running the clock, milking the clock down. Why are you running out routes to the sideline, bro, when you could have did? And I mean, there's 1,000 other plays you could have chosen. And listen, I'm a KOC guy, bro, like me and SK for sure. And Randy too, you're a KOC guy too. Like you said, we're not saying this guy is horrible, but I like really, really KOC down, bro. Like, I ride for KOC. I think he's a great coach, to be honest with you. And but he does piss me off sometimes with this play calling, man. And I gotta agree, he does. Sometimes he gets a little conservative and turns into a shell of himself, man. And that is something I want to see change. I don't know, like SK said, I don't know if Wes Phillips is the answer. None of us know. And I'm sure Wes Phillips has his hands in a lot of the things that we see, to be honest with you. Like, although KOC might seem from the outside looking like he's calling the plays, which he probably is, but I'm saying I think it's definitely a collaboration deal going on, if I had to guess. You know what I mean? So, I mean, look, I'm one of those guys where we're 5-1. The only thing I was saying this morning is we're 5-1, everybody. Like, we don't need to panic. There's no need to panic. This game was lost by 2 points. And at the end of the day, offensive play calling was bad at times, but this game was left in the defensive hands. Regardless, we were up by 1 point and the defense was on the field. I'm not trying to put all the blame on Brian Flores, but as a team, Like we've been leaning on our defense for majority of the season, and they should have they had the opportunity to stop the Lions and they couldn't. You know what I mean?
I mean,
So
yeah, I mean, look, you can look at a handful of plays or instances in this game where we could have ended it or put it out of reach or did something
mhm.
like as far as the 2-point conversion. Now,
Oh yeah,
the
no, that's
2-point
one thing
conversion,
too, SK. Real quick, I wanted to touch that
that play
2-point
calling I
conversion
didn't
pissed me
like.
off.
I
That
didn't
shit,
like the play
the
calling on
play
that.
calling on top of Sam Darnold just rushing that. Like
Yeah.
Sam Darnold didn't even process that 2-point conversion, bro. He literally just and then one more, SK. I gotta throw this one out there too,
Oh
man. The
boy.
interception this
Here we go.
motherfucker threw. Like,
Oh,
did you pull
Yeah.
up that? Pull
you.
up that too. Pull up that all 22. This
I
shit
got you.
right here is wild, bro. This is nasty work.
You got to see this. You got to see Aaron
Watch
Jones.
Aaron
wide open.
Jones. This man is
Oh
wide
my
open over
gosh.
there.
Wow.
He looking, and this what makes it worse. Sam Darnold is
Damn.
looking over there. Sam Darnold is looking there and then just turns back to Addison and just lets the ball go.
That's down the sidelines
crazy.
for a touchdown. So again, that goes
Easy.
back to where, okay, we can complain about the play calling and it's justifiable. There's moments and there's situational times where it's like, okay, bad play call, KLC. I don't know what you were thinking, but that's 2 plays. That's just 2 plays that are touchdowns. That's 14 points you left on the board. Now, I'm not completely sure if we ended up scoring on these drives. I'd have to go back and look anyways. But these are the situations that we're talking about to where Sam Darnold still has a little bit of nasty, okay? Like he still got some loser on him. We're still trying to wash that loser off of him. So there's plays like this where you got to see, and it ends up being an interception for the Detroit Lions. So it's those little moments, and on top of that, the 2-point conversion, which if we convert that 2-point conversion, it's a 3-point game. That game ends up going to overtime, and who knows what happens. I trust my team in overtime with the home crowd. I'll take the Vikings in that instance. On top of that, penalties killed us this game. If we're talking about situational things, situational penalties killed us. I know earlier in the game there was a chunk play to Johnny Munt that ended up getting brought back because there was a holding, I believe, on the offensive line. On the deep pass at the end of the game that got us in Will Reichert field goal range ended up being a 5-yard penalty, pushing him back, and would have made it a 73 or 73-yard field goal instead of a 68-yard field goal, which Kelsey said, I would have ran Reichert out there to kick that 68-yard field goal if we didn't get that penalty with 1 second left. So there's literally a millisecond or a second away from this game being a different outcome, to where I may sound crazy. You guys might agree with me though. I kind of trust Riker from 68.
Bro,
From
could you imagine if Will Riker
my
would have
God.
walked off with a 68-yarder, bro?
With
That would have been
68?
wild.
I have confidence that he would have made it too.
We've
They would've
seen
made a
him,
statue of this
kick a
motherfucker.
57, a 58-yarder already with plenty of room to spare.
With
So
5 more yards.
I like that. Like if it's just 1-2 plays that this game is a different outcome. And we're not sitting here talking about, well, the play calling or, Sam Darnold missed this guy or that guy. We're talking about the Vikings being 6-0 at the top of the NFC, at the top of the NFC North. And this is a whole different kind of vibe. But going back to it, I don't think any of us are too concerned. And I believe that us having a short week, we only got 4 days, Thursday until our next game on the road. This is the best week to lose. You got a quick turnaround. You got to focus on the Rams. There is no time to sit and mope about this loss to the Detroit Lions, even though it sucks. You don't have time to sit around and mope about it. You got to move on to the next game and get it. But if we fall to the Rams, then it's a different story. Now we're starting to talk about, okay, wait a minute. This is looking like the 2016 Vikings, where we went 5-0 and then we dropped 4 straight and then ended up 8-8 at the end of the year. That vibe starts to creep in because the Rams are not good. The Rams, they won their last game against the Raiders. They turned the Raiders over 4 or 5 times, won by 5 points. And their starting quarterback got knocked out. So we should be able to go into LA. It's going to feel like a home game vibe because it's going to be mostly Vikings fans there. You should be able to go in there and handle a banged up Rams team, regardless of whether they have Cooper Kupp or not. But if you don't beat the Rams, we got some cause for concern.
Yeah. Next Monday will be a show. You heard? If we lose to the Rams, next Monday gonna be a show. The tone definitely gonna be a little different for sure.
I'm not concerned about the Rams.
Me neither.
I'm honestly not
be.
concerned about anybody until week 18, the Detroit Lions again. That's it. I think you can honestly run the table the rest of the way till week 18 and still probably get that win off. 16-1 is still in play. That's my best case scenario.
Yeah.
And I mean, we talked about this earlier, and I know we sound crazy and biased about kind of what we're talking about here, but we were talking about, hey, would you rather go into the playoffs 17-0 or like 16-1, 15-2? And I think we all kind of agreed on, okay, I'd much rather just get that loss out of the way. We go into the playoffs, whether it be the top seed or not. We don't have to worry about the pressure of being this undefeated team. You know, our hopes are over for being 17-0, guys. We can move on with the rest of the season and just take it week to week. It sucks. I know we're not going to be in the greatest team of all time. It sucks. But hey, look, move on. Short week. We have the Rams. And if you beat the Rams, if you beat the shit out of the Rams, this Lions game is kind of just like, we lost, but we're back on track.
Yeah, for sure. I just need the Chiefs to lose, man. Come on, Chiefs, drop one, which I know they will.
They just got to bounce back.
No, I'm not worried about the Chiefs. I'm not worried about the Chiefs. Can go undefeated the entire season for all I care. All I care about is the NFC. We'll worry about the Super Bowl if we get there. I'm worried about Detroit. With what I'm seeing out of Tampa Bay, I'm worried about Tampa Bay now because Baker Mayfield is playing like an MVP.
Is the game on? What is it looking like?
Last time I checked, it was 14-0, and Baker was torching that defense.
Oh yeah, Baker Mayfield playing
he already had 2 tutties.
Oh wow, yeah, Baker Mayfield definitely. He playing like he was playing in college when he won the Heisman, boy. Because didn't he win the Heisman? I think Baker was a Heisman winner. Was he? Or was that
no?
I thought Baker won the Heisman. Well, he was the first round.
He totally did. Because he's on that Nissan Heisman house.
Yeah. Baker won the Heisman that year. Yeah. Like he playing like that year. Like when he was fucking all world, boy.
Yeah, but if you're looking at the NFC, there's 3 clear-cut teams in the NFC that are the top 3 teams. And that's the Detroit Lions are number 1 right now. I don't think anybody can argue that Detroit Lions are the real deal. They're number 1. And then for number 2 and 3, it's the Bucks and the Lions. And you can flip-flop them however you want to flip-flop them. But those are the top 3 teams in NFC. Now, obviously, it's a long season. Things can happen. 49ers are cooked. They're cooked. Brandon Ayuk is out for the season with a torn ACL. I think Debo just came down with some random sickness to where he's not practicing this week. Like, it's just a mess over there in San Francisco. So, they may make the playoffs, but I don't necessarily consider them a threat, at least not right now until they get healthy. And then you got the Eagles. You have the Falcons who laid an egg against Seattle at home this past weekend. And then you have Seattle, which
game.
Oh yeah, Kirk had a bad game too.
Yeah, I had real quick. I gotta say something about that, man. Thursday night football, my timeline was fucking flooded with 500-yard stat box and shit. And I was just so surprised yesterday while my shit wasn't flooded again. You know what I'm saying? Like it's weird how that works, man.
And it was still Kirktober too, which is crazy.
It's Kirktober, man. You know what I mean? What happened?
So I just want to throw this out there again. We're going to keep doing this until you don't have the opportunity to do it. You gave up 144 yards on the ground to Detroit yesterday. That's tough. Not going to win a championship that way.
But I guess you got to do one run though, right? A chunk of that was that. How long was that Gibbs run? Gibbs run like 60
44,
yards,
I think.
It
was like 44, 45. Yeah.
So Jahmyr Gibbs, 15 carries for 116 yards, 2 scores.
Yeah.
David Montgomery had 31. He also had that fumble. But, we can break it down so many different ways mathematically. But I feel like, you know what? As good as Harrison Phillips has been playing, you need to make a move,
Yeah.
and you
To
need
play
to trade for
alongside Harrison
to
Phillips.
facts.
Yeah.
Dexter
I agree.
Lawrence or Jeffrey Simmons.
Let's go.
Make the call, Quasi,
Yeah.
every single day to both teams until
Let
one
me
of them
ask you this,
says,
Randy.
"All right."
Would you give up 3 for Dexter Lawrence? Would you give up 3 first rounds for Dexter Lawrence?
No, I'd do 2.
You do 2? Okay.
I'd do 2. I would say this year and next year's first round pick, or 25 and 26. Because if you think about it, the way that the Vikings were trying to move up in the draft to try and trade up for Drake May, you were going to give up those first round picks anyway. So this is house money that you're playing with. I would give up 2 first round picks. 3, I'm not going to criticize the Vikings if that were to happen, but I would understand it. I personally wouldn't do it. But 2?
I don't think
Sure.
they would. I don't think they would. And I mean, speaking on Harrison Phillips really quick, and I mean, overall in this game, he kind of disappeared. That first quarter, Harrison Phillips was having a great game in that first quarter. Like,
Yeah,
I
he
believe
was.
he had a sack, he had a tipped pass, he had a tackle for loss. He was all over the field in that first quarter. And then he kind of disappeared the rest of the game. I don't know if that was because the Lions kind of schemed with that, or I don't know what happened, but he was playing great in that first quarter. I mean, the whole team was playing great in that first quarter. Lions tried to run that fake punt. We stuffed it. Bo Richter sighting. He stuffed it.
Yeah.
Got us the ball in our in Detroit Lions territory. We ended up putting up a touchdown on that drive, and then obviously kicking a field goal to make it 10-0. We started this game like we've started every game this season, but the difference is, and I noticed this, is that Detroit did not get away from running the ball. They continued to run the ball. 10-0 isn't some crazy, hole that you dug yourself in, especially with the offense that Detroit Lions have. They can get back into games really fast, and that's exactly what they did. But I mean, if we're looking at the numbers, and we talked about it last week of how similar these teams are and how much of a battle it was going to be and how close these teams are to being kind of the same team. You look at total yards, the Detroit Lions 391, Minnesota Vikings 383. Passing yards 247 for the Lions, 244 for the Vikings. Rushing yards 144 yards for the Lions, 139 for the Vikings. Yards per play 7 yards per play for the Lions, 7.4 for the Vikings. First downs 19 Detroit, 16 Minnesota. Third down efficiency, both teams were 4 for 10, 40%. Total plays 56 to 52. Both teams had 4 sacks. Detroit punted 4 times, Vikings punted 3 times. Penalties, both teams had 8 penalties. Both teams had a turnover. Time of possession, the Lions were 29 minutes. The Vikings were 30 minutes. So it's identical stat line as far as the teams go. Again, we said it earlier in the show. This feels like an NFC championship caliber matchup right here. So there's no reason to be, giving up on this team, or obviously you're disappointed. Again, you don't want to lose, especially to a divisional rival. But if there's any team that you lose to, it's a good team, and it's a damn good team. I'd much rather take an L to the Lions than take an L to the Rams or to one of these stinky teams out here. So you lost to a really good team, and you had multiple chances to win it. And I mean, the last sack on Jared Goff, I believe it was Grenard with the strip sack. If we recover that ball, we win this game. Like, it's those little things that the way the ball bounces, just little stuff like that, is the difference between winning and losing games. So no reason to be mad at the team or not like the team or saying.
Can we talk about the offensive line real quick though? Like, can we talk about
specifically Ed Ingram? It's time.
Read my mind there.
It's time. It's time.
Because I see there's people, there is certain certain people like going to bat for Ed Ingram, and that's nasty work.
Nah,
Like for
it's
sure,
over.
like the way your neck got to stick out for that shit is crazy. You hear me? Like I would never stick my neck out like that far for Ed Ingram, man. I mean, but I want to hear obviously y'all's take on it. Randy, you can go ahead and start the train, man. You know, Ed Ingram. What
The Ed
should we
Ingram
do?
train.
What should we do? That's the real question.
He's unplayable at this point. Dalton Reisner, the very moment that he's ready to go, you play him. I don't care anymore. Ed Ingram has placed himself in that bucket of failed offensive linemen in recent Vikings history. Dakota Dozier, TJ Clemens, Pat Elflein, all of those guys. And I'm sure Willie Beavers.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm missing a couple of names.
Yeah.
We've tried. I tried. Literally last week I said, you know what? I get it. Reisner, everyone likes him, but the run blocking isn't there. Ed Ingram is more valuable to this team, as much as it pains me to say that. But after what I saw yesterday, where he just got bullied over, I've never seen a backward somersault in my life from an offensive lineman. Bro, the squat machine, the leg presses, all the stuff you've been lacking clearly the last couple of days leading up to this game, because what the hell was that? You're a professional offensive lineman. That was embarrassing. I can't do it anymore. The moment that Dalton Reisner is ready, you play him, no questions asked.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of what's going on. There's already reports out saying that, you know, there's a very, very big chance that Dalton Reisner is going to be the starter at right guard. And I mean, it's time. We gave the guy an extra week. Reisner was back. He was maybe could have been ready to go last week or yesterday. But they say, you know what? Go ahead, Ingram. We're going to give you one more week. And he showed his ass. So, again, man, it's time. It's time.
Yeah. I mean, I agree, obviously, man. You know, Ed Ingram, there's a couple plays you can look at that all 22 and you can be like, yo, like dead ass. Like him and Bradbury too. I ain't gonna lie. Bradbury was kind of getting tossed around too, which is normal. I feel like as Vikings fans, we give him a pat. We're used to that shit. We've been getting tossed around for the last 8 years, it seems like.
He's at least putting in the effort, though. We don't hear from him saying, oh, well, I think I had a good game yesterday. We don't hear that from
like
Bradbury.
that's the thing I like about Bradbury. He know he getting his shit tossed. He just stay quiet. My dude be ducking the media. He like, I ain't got nothing to say. I know I'm getting fucked up out there.
Ingram all up in the cameras.
Ed Ingram trying to get his camera time all up in the cameras. Shit. Like, come on.
I'm playing
all up
great.
In the videos. All up in the
videos. Me, I had a great game. What the hell you talking about?
Yeah.
You
get the gold jacket ready, measured out.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, listen, man, like, I agree with both of you fellas. Like, I mean, yes, is Dalton Reisner going to give you, you know, that much? I mean, he's going to be better. That's for sure. He's going to be better. That's all that matters at this point, because you mean you can't get any damn worse than what the hell Ed Ingram is showing us, man. And it's crazy that you got a guy in Blake Brandel over there on the other side, balling, quiet. You know what I mean? Like, you don't hear nothing coming from his side. Him and Darisaw now. He might have maybe he's getting some help from Darisaw being over there with that guy, because that guy's a monster, dog. Like, there's one play, SK, you probably I don't know how much of the film you pulled up. It was the pass play to Jalen Naylor. But if you watch Darisaw, bro, like, this dude is elite tackle, boy. You hear me? Like, it don't get much better than Darisaw. I'm gonna keep it real with you. And he probably is helping Brandel a little bit, but I'm not going to take anything away from Brandel. Brandel has been playing amazing, bro. We can get two of him. Just imagine we can get another Blake Brandel on the right guard, man. We would be set. And I mean, look, I look forward to Dalton Reisner. I think he should start this Thursday, to be honest with you. I don't think there should be any more waiting, to be honest with you. For sure.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't at this point. I mean, especially.
But part of me feels like KOC is going to. And that's another thing that does piss me off about KOC.
No, one thing I will say about this kind of regimen is that when a guy's not performing, we're a whole lot quicker to move off of him than it was in the previous regimen with Zimmer. there was guys where we had just kind of stick with it. It's like, come on, dude. Like, it's time to. And
I feel
we
like
always
KOC was doing that shit too, bro, at the beginning, dog.
with who
I ain't gonna
else
lie.
though? With
He
who
was.
else?
I mean, because even
They brought back Bradbury.
well, they
I mean,
did
re-signing him. But I'm not going to pile on. Like, that's
Yeah.
one blip on the radar. But bringing him back, I said, really, you're going to do this?
They did
No.
that, and we had the same issue with Ezra Cleveland. You know, it's funny.
Yeah.
We were having the same conversation with Ezra Cleveland, and guess who was in the shadows? Dalton Reisner. That's the crazy part. This shit is just like deja fucking vu. That's happening right now, bruh. Like this shit. I mean, look, man. And now, you know what's crazy? Ezra Cleveland's like one of the best fucking guards in the NFL now. Ain't that some shit?
Nah. I mean, what is that according to PFF or something?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just according
I
to the
watched that
numbers and shit.
Jaguars Patriots game, and
I mean,
it was
shit,
a bit
man.
rough for him.
Bring Ezra back. You know what I'm saying? Why not? Fuck it.
Yeah, until he fucking gives up a sack and everybody's breathing down the dude's neck again. Why do we even bring Ezra back, man? He's trash.
Bring Ezra back. Fuck it.
This is the Darasol rep you're talking about. I'm not able to get it full screen. I just went on to Twitter. Shout out Purple Persuasion for posting it.
TPP.
But this may be the single greatest offensive line rep
crazy
I've ever seen in my life. Like, I know we sit here
crazy.
I know we sit here and we appreciate the Justin Jeffersons and the Aaron Jones and all these athletic guys. But
hold on, SK.
amazing.
Go back, click the video, and look at Ed Ingram. Let's look at Ed Ingram in this video too, because this shit right here is another embarrassing. And listen, I'm not trying to kick Ed while he's down, man. I feel kind of bad.
Yes,
I'm trying to
you
kick
are.
him while he's down. But I'm telling you, we gotta just, since we're on the topic, like not only is Darasol over there looking like Michael Jordan on the fucking offensive line, but we gotta just see our boy Ed one more time, man.
It's
If
not
you click
letting
the
me blow it up.
Oh, it won't let you blow it up?
Yeah, it won't let me blow it up.
All right, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Y'all can find it. Go find it.
I see he's sitting on his ass though.
He definitely sitting on his ass for sure. He the only one out of everybody, even Bradbury standing up. Y'all look at 67 over there on the right side of the screen. Ass.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. So I mean, we're all in agreement. I think the fan base is in agreement as well. It's time. Let's get him on out of there. Let's move on with Reisner. But see, Reisner brings a whole lot more to the table than just obviously, being able to block the guy in front of him. He's gonna bring a little extra attitude, a little extra swagger, a little extra nastiness to this offensive line that I think that it would be nice, especially for the interior offensive line. So I'm ready to move on. I think we all are as well. But another question I kind of wanted to run past you guys. Has Darnold kind of reverted back to the old Darnold, quote unquote?
Go ahead, Randy. You think?
Oh, it's starting to look that way. He still technically had a decent game yesterday, but that's one of those where if he just makes better decisions on multiple plays, I mean, the Vikings probably win in spite of the iffy play calling. And the second half of the Jets game, man, it's starting to trend in that direction. Hopefully it doesn't. I think when TJ Hawkinson returns, I think that's going to be a big help.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's going to be that guy over the middle. If we're going to continue to run either screens or verticals with Jefferson and Addison, then Hawkinson will be that nice stopgap in the middle to help him out, the safety blanket. I think he'll bounce back against the Rams because, like you said, SK, you don't have time to mope around from that loss. As tough as that was, a pill to swallow. You now have to turn around damn near immediately and focus on, okay, it's the next game. How can we get this train going again? So I think he'll be fine. But so far it's been a bit tough.
Yeah. This game will tell us more about Sam Darnold, this team, this coaching staff, than a win against Detroit would have told us. We're coming off kind of an emotional loss. It sucks. It was at home. Now you got to turn around, go on the road, and play a team, which again, it's the NFL. No one's a pushover in the NFL. It's going to be tough regardless. A team you should take care of. But if we're able to go out there and really put hands on the Rams, then you say, okay, I see what this team is. They kind of take shit personal. They're going to come out and they're going to punch you in the mouth. So what about you, Rep?
So I'm sticking to my guns, man. Like, I'm excited about TJ Hawkinson coming back, but what I see from Sam Darnold, trust me, he's going to get some catches, but I guarantee you we are going to be pulling up all 22 films and we're going to be seeing TJ Hawkinson wide the fuck open more than what we're going to be seeing, you know what I mean, of him actually throwing the dart to TJ Hawkinson. I really do feel like that because we're seeing these things. Like, we showed you guys like 3 examples tonight, right? But if you go back to even the first 5 games, even when he was playing amazing, bro, he could have been doing even better because there was still a ton of shit, man. There's a ton of passes that he misses that because I don't know if it's just me, but I mean, trust me, I'm riding for Sam Darnold. I think obviously he gives us the best chance for what we have. All right. We have no choice and he's not horrible. It could be worse. Right. And that's always something where it's like, okay, let's just be grateful for what we got. But I will say, man, I agree with Randy. I agree with you, SK, as far as I think, yeah, we're about to start seeing the real Sam Darnold. If you, particularly the last 6 quarters of football, all right, second half of the last game, this whole game, like, because this is the thing. You look at the box score of this last game against the Detroit Lions, you would say, oh yeah, he played pretty good. Like he was 25 for. What was he like? I think he only missed like 5 throws.
22 for 27, 259, a score and a pick.
First half was rough. First half was rough. Second half came out and was dealing. Outside of those few plays that he missed.
But see, that box score, I don't know why, it just screams Kirk Cousins to me, man. You know what I'm saying? It just screams like not good enough. I don't give a fuck. Like because when you watching the game, we get to sit up here and talk about the plays that were actually critical in the game. If you're not a Vikings fan and you look at that box score, you would look at that shit and say, shit, it ain't Sam Darnold's fault at all. Like, look what he did. He only missed 5 throws. But then they don't realize that those 5 throws that he did miss, that was like 2 of those shits were the deciding factor of us getting a W or an L. And that's my issue. And like when he drops back or every time he's under center or drops back, I just am not comfortable inside. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm hoping he's going to make the right decision, but I want to get that quarterback and I think we have him in the building. Hopefully we get to see him next year, but I want to get that quarterback where I feel like when he goes up to the line and calls the play comes in, I'm confident to know that he's going to make the right decision every single Sunday, man. And is not going to cost us the game. You know what I'm saying? I think Sam Darnold still has that trait where he will cost you football games. I said this in my last video this morning. We are going to live and die by Sam Darnold this year. I'm telling you, bruh, like we really are. And that's why we kind of got to, speaking to the point real quick about earlier, talking about KOC, like we're leaning on those 2 guys. We need KOC to make sure that his play calling is good. And we also need to make sure that Sam Darnold and him are on the same page damn near every Sunday, but particularly when we get into the later part of the season, when the playoffs begin, because we're going to make the playoffs. I think we're going to win enough games to make the playoffs. And that's when it's going to matter. And do we really, as Vikings fans, trust Sam Darnold to go out there and be able to, really hold it down in a big time game? Right now, it's a no for me, bruh. It is. I ain't gonna lie, it's a no for me.
Well, I mean, that's the game you signed up for. This is this is Sam Darnold. We all knew he had the arm talent. We all know he can sling it, but it's more so the decision making and the mental aspect of the game, and that's his weakness. That's what we're seeing right now. So this is the game we're going to be playing all year with Sam Darnold. So if we're talking about it, it's not necessarily us getting on Sam Darnold. We're paying him, what is it, $6.5 million this year. And then another 4 in incentives. I don't think it's 10 guaranteed, but 4 plus 4 in incentives. There's a reason why you're only paying him that much. Now he's gonna get his bag. I think how the season's going, I think he's still gonna play well. But again, there's going to be moments, like Rap said, where he may cost you a game or 2. Let's hope it's not in the playoffs, but there's gonna be moments where it's like, come on, Sam. Like, come on, dog. You can't do that. Or you got to hold on to that ball, or you got to look Aaron Jones wide open in the flat, so there's going to be those moments throughout the entire season. That's just the game we're going to have to be playing.
And that's why you got to temper your expectations as a Vikings fan. And I was screaming that throughout this whole offseason once we signed him is, hey, look here. We're going to have fun with it. We're going to be on live. We're going to be hyping up 14. We riding for him. But don't go crazy, bruh. Because I'm telling you, setting yourself up to be pissed off.
They can do it, man.
You can do it.
And that's my main point here is when I hammer down on things such as KOC's play calling or penalties or whatever, it's just meant stop getting in your own way of what you can possibly achieve this year.
Yeah.
I'm crazy as hell. I think this is a big opportunity that they can really just get into the history books as far as everybody was talking about the Cowboys and the Eagles and the Niners and the Bills and Ravens and all that stuff. Hey, the Minnesota Vikings, they shocked the world.
Yeah.
It's right there. It's like I can see it. Just minimize those mistakes and you give yourselves a chance. So I'm crazy. I accept it.
Yeah. I mean, look, like I said, I agree. If they're both on the same page, then we'll be scary. And we've seen it the first 5 weeks of the season. And even yesterday, man, like obviously there's throws and stuff we're going to talk about. But I mean, look, if we play like we played the Lions against the Rams, we're going to beat the shit out the Rams. Like straight up. Like if we play like that, even with all the mistakes and all the bullshit that we're talking about, we're going to dominate the Rams tomorrow on Thursday Night Football. It's going to get ugly for them. So, I mean, we got a good football team, man, regardless, man. But, we're just being critical because we're coming off an L. That's all.
I mean, they better whip their ass with the ticket prices.
You're going to be at the game, right?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, SK going to be in the building. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, SK got to hold it down.
But let's get to the fun part of our show, guys. That brings us to our Sizzling 7. And we got some movement this week.
Somebody say Sam is the Timu Kirk.
We got a little
movement, Sam's the Timu Kirk? Nah,
or
don't
the
do
wish.
that to Sam.
Or the wish. The wish.
Sam's got way more courage than Kirk ever had.
Hey, Kirk got a bloody nose this week and threw like 3 picks after his nose was bleeding. He saw that little bit of blood. It's like
Kirk got his ass beat this weekend, boy. You heard me?
So, but reviewing the games from week 7.
I feel like I did bad. I can't even remember what I picked.
You did bad, Rap.
Yeah,
you did bad.
I think I did.
But first game was the Texans at the Green Bay Packers. Randy, in a rare instance, was the only one that picked the Packers there. So
let's go.
There you go.
Let's go.
Randy.
Told ya.
So next
Had
game
to make some big boy moves.
Next game was Kansas City at San Francisco. Myself and Randy picked KC. Rap was on the losing end again for the 49ers. And then Philadelphia at New York. Randy was the only one to pick New York. I don't know why. He's trying to mend fences.
He's trying to catch up.
With that fan base over there or something.
Hail Mary.
So myself and Rap went with Philly there. Seattle at Atlanta. I was the only one to pick Atlanta at home, and Seattle whooped their ass. So Randy and Rap got that one. Jets at Pittsburgh. Myself and Randy picked Pittsburgh. Rap,
what are you doing, man?
Oh, that was
that's crazy.
Devontae Adams, like, come on, man. They were supposed to win that game, man.
You didn't even know the trade didn't even happen yet. You were going with Alan Lazard.
Let me be great, man. Let me be great. Let me be
he's still riding off that 7-0. He's still riding off that 7-0. And then our next game was Denver at New Orleans. Myself and Rap picked Denver in that. Randy went with New Orleans for the L. And then obviously the Detroit-Minnesota game, we all went with Minnesota and all fell short there. Bringing the total from just last week, myself, I went 4-3. Randy also went 4-3. Rap went a lonely 3-4.
Damn.
So Randy has gained a game on Rap. And we never went over like a punishment for last place. I saw a couple suggestions. I think one of them was paint your face for a whole show or something like that. Maybe we can do that.
long as
or
it's
wear a
nothing like
costume
super
or something.
crazy, SK, Randy really has to think about this punishment too, because he's most likely going to be the one having to do this. So, we just need to make sure.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll see. What's the tally right now? What's the totals between us three?
All right, so I did it earlier, so I wasn't doing it on camera. I am 31 or 34 and 15. Rap is 29 and 21, and Randy is 24 and 25.
Oh, I'm still 5 games ahead, bro. I'm good. Like I'm a whole week ahead.
5 games
All right.
behind, Randy. It's a long season.
A week up.
That's all right.
It's a long season. It's a long season. So yeah. So
I mean, if I really want to be an a-hole and just win, I'll just everything you pick, I pick.
Okay.
And then we'll just have the same record every week.
Yeah, we'll just have you pick first then. We'll just have you pick first.
Yeah, I know, right? No, that's how we should do it. We should do the best picks first. Like you pick first.
The best will pick first. Don't worry.
Yeah.
The best will pick first. Don't even.
And then Randy gets the option if he wants to go against, you know what I mean, to try to gain ground. So whoever's in last gets the last pick for sure. Which I feel like is a kind of an advantage. You get to hear the bullshit analysis that we throw out there about other teams that we know fucking nothing about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Not until they play the Vikings, where you're gotta study up and be like, all right, what are they good at? Yeah, it's true.
So there's a lot of ugly games. A lot of ugly games this week, but we're gonna do them anyways. First game. Colts at Texans. I think we're all gonna go Colts there, right?
Texans,
unless somebody
AR-15, built like a Greek statue. He's gonna change lives.
He had a horrible game, didn't he? I think did they bench him? I think they were talking about benching him. Colts fans were pissed. They were pissed. I seen some shit on Twitter, man, where Colts fans were pissed.
Speaking of that, our not week 9. Yeah, week 9 game has got flexed to Sunday Night Football. So we'll be playing the Colts on Sunday.
Colts prime time, baby.
Yeah. All that athleticism on the field from Anthony Richardson. How are we going to contain that? Next game, Chicago at Washington. Chicago catches a goddamn break here because they're not going to have Jaden Daniels. It's Marcus Mariota starting for them.
Oh, the rib injury, so he's going to be okay.
Marcus Mariota looked good though, at least against the. Against the
Bears.
Oh no, who they the Panthers. He looked good against the Panthers.
I'm going Bears.
Hold up. Did I pick the Texans? Yeah, I did. Obviously, you wrote me down for the Texans, right? Okay, I just want to make sure. I'm going Washington.
Okay.
Bro, their defense is nice. Their defense, like besides the quarterback, I'm telling you right now, their defense, like
where is it at?
It's in Washington.
Yeah, I'm going still.
Bears. Yeah, I got to go Chicago. Chicago has a really good defense. I'll give.
Yeah, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win that. I'm gonna win that. I'm gonna win that.
We'll see. Next game is Cowboys 49ers Sunday night.
Oh, ass bowl. Oh God.
Cowboys 49ers.
There's more ass. There's definitely more ass bowls coming. So
that's the Sunday night game.
That's the Sunday night game.
Oh, Niners. I guess.
Oh wait, I gotta choose first, right? I'm gonna go. Ooh,
it's in the Bay or is it in Dallas?
It's in the Bay. It's in the Bay. I'm gonna go Niners. I'm going Niners. I'm gonna go Niners too. Off a loss.
Yeah,
Dallas coming off a bye. You know what?
Dallas is bad, bro. They have a bad football team, bro. Like I watched them play. I'm like, yo, that team is bad.
I'm gonna go Dallas.
Okay.
I'm going Dallas.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go Dallas.
Your love for Zimmer knows no bounds.
No, it's definitely not that.
49ers might put up a 40 ball on their ass.
He'll bounce back.
It's actually a McCarthy thing. And I may be wrong on thinking about this stat, but I'm pretty sure I heard it somewhere. Mike McCarthy is really good coming out of buys. Coming out of a bye against the Niners, they're desperate for a win. They have the talent is the thing. Micah Parsons should be back. I'm going to go Dallas.
Okay.
I'm going to go Dallas.
Right.
You guys both going San Francisco?
I'm going Niners. Yeah, I'm going Niners. Okay.
And I don't feel good about it either. That's nasty.
Either way, you're not going to feel good about it.
Brandon Ayuk's out, but I still think the Niners. He hasn't been doing shit.
Wait, I was about to say, what was he doing?
It don't even matter.
Even when he was in.
I'm telling you.
All right, next one we got Buffalo at Seattle. Should be a good. That's a good
That's
game.
gonna be a
Buffalo.
good game.
Amari Cooper. I think Josh Allen's got some rejuvenation in him now that he's got a receiving core. Keon Coleman can be his 2 guy.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
gonna
take
go
the
Buffalo
Bills.
as well.
I'm going Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm picking up ground this week. Listen, Seattle coming off the type of win they came off of against Atlanta. They got confidence. Seattle's actually a decent team. Like we not talking about them enough as Vikings fans. I think that's
What?
gonna be. Listen, bro. I think they're
Talking
gonna
about
be
them enough?
bro. Hey, listen. First of all, we always struggle with Seattle, even when they shitty. Like for sure, something about Vikings and Seattle game that just pisses me off. I can't stand playing the Seahawks, bro. I just always feel like the Seahawks gonna piss me off. I'm gonna be real with you. And Geno Smith, them boy playing some good ball, man. They defense is they running around too, man. I like their corners, man. They aggressive. Their defense is similar to the Jets. I think it's gonna be one of those games where Sam Darnold, but we'll get to that. That's down the road. I'm gonna tell you though, that's gonna be a tough game.
Yep. So next game, Atlanta at Tampa Bay. We just saw this matchup. This was the 500-yard game from Kurt.
Yeah, why the fuck they put them back to back like that?
Bay. Who we got?
Tampa.
What's the score now with Tampa and
I think Baltimore worked their way back into it. Somebody was saying that
14-10 Baltimore.
14-10
26 seconds left in the first half.
Oh, it's 14-10. Baltimore's winning, or is it 14-10?
Baltimore's winning.
Yeah, because you said it was 14-0.
I thought
it was only 10-7 when you said that. So
okay.
I don't know.
Back or something there.
Yeah, but I'm going. All right, I'm gonna go. Man, I'm going Tampa Bay with that game, man. They got to bounce back.
Guys going Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
that game was similar to our division with the Lions. Like that game was kind of like this is their rematch. They get back early. You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Tampa Bay as well. So we're all going Tampa Bay there. Last game before the big one on Thursday night. Let's go Philadelphia at Cincinnati.
That's a good
you
game,
two
man.
go first.
I'm gonna go Cincinnati.
Me too. I'm going Cincy.
I'm going Cincy.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping you guys would go the other way because I'm trying to get that one solo pick.
Oh, we know you're not picking Philly.
I'm not. No, Cincy all the way.
Yeah.
All right.
That's easy.
All going Cincy. And then obviously the big one on Thursday night. Minnesota Vikings traveling to LA to play the Rams.
Vikings by 50.
That would be nice. That would make us forget about the Detroit loss real quick.
Imagine like a game like 53-9 or some bullshit. That would be crazy.
Yeah, I'm definitely
back. They win by at least 10 points. Vikings.
Yeah, I'm going Vikes.
Any bold predictions for that one? Any player?
I mean, I think Sam Darnold's going to have a good game. I think Justin Jefferson's going to go off. I think it'll be a game where, we'll kind of be like, yeah, I don't really have any particulars as far as, Justin Jefferson getting 150 or nothing. I just think it's going to be a solid game for the offense. I think the offense is going to bounce back.
I don't have a stat for a bold prediction, but Dalton Reisner starts.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay. Yeah, I see on these Thursday night games, teams always tend to rely on their stars. It's been a while since we had a really big game from Justin Jefferson. I'm going to say Justin Jefferson goes for over 100 here against the Rams.
And I feel like they need to make that happen. I just hope that they don't force the issue. Right? Like let the game come to you. And I know JJ can do it in his sleep, but it's about the quarterback, man. Really, that's what it comes down to. Are you going to give your guy the chance to do it, which he did on that touchdown pass that we seen yesterday? I mean, Justin Jefferson was covered, but you threw it up there into the better player. You know what I'm saying? So like, do that more often. Yeah, do that more often, man. Give it to him, man. Let him do his thing. I mean, they tried to get him involved early with the screens and shit like that, but like, just throw it up there, bro. Justin's down there somewhere, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So this Rams game, and this will kind of be the last thing we end with. How important, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is this game against the Rams, and how important is winning this game against the Rams?
Whatever the ceiling on the scale is, that's where it's at.
10.
You have to bounce back. and win this game. You lose 2 in a row, then you're starting to let doubt creep in, and KOC is having to force the issue and pick guys back up with cliche motivational speeches. Nah, you got to win this one to get back in this season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I agree. Like, you have to win this. This game is damn near a must win. You know what I mean? In my opinion, as far as when you're talking about the entirety of the season, what you already painted the first 5 weeks, the first 6 weeks of the season, right? I mean, first 7 weeks technically, but like being 5-1, like you're considered one of the better teams in the NFL. You need to act like it when you're playing a team that's 2-4, right? What are they? 2-4, 2-5, 2-4. I think they're 2-4.
They might be 3-4 now, unless they had a bye already.
Okay, they might be 3-4. Yeah. So I mean, look,
they're 2-4.
They're 2-4. Yeah. So I mean, look, man, this team isn't good, right? Like, I'm gonna just be honest with you, they're not good. And I know there's word that Cooper Kupp might be coming back for the Thursday night. I know that's out there, but
he'll be back.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like that shouldn't swing the game not one bit as far as us winning or losing this football game. Like, you should, with Cooper Kupp, without Cooper Kupp, we should go out there and dominate this fucking team. Like, for real, man. I want to see a dominating win. I don't want to see a close game, but I'll take whatever. Just get out there with a dub.
Now, and the biggest thing is our defense against not Sam Bradford. I don't know where I got that. Matthew Stafford. And I know why I said Sam Bradford, because he's a statue in that pocket, man. Yeah. He does not move. He does not, when he tries
to, not like he used to.
Ugly and clunky. Like, he's an old man in that pocket. Yeah. You can really tee off on him. And I mean, you can't really say the same thing about Jared Goff. There was a lot of times in that game against Detroit where we were this close from getting a sack on Jared Goff, and he was just kind of slick enough to slide up in the pocket and get away from that. Stafford doesn't necessarily have that athleticism in him anymore, to where you can tee off on Stafford in that pocket. And I think that's what this defense does. And we kind of know the attitude that Brian Flores brings to this team and brings to this defense. You know, we're going to have a chip on our shoulder going into this game. You know, we're going to come out hitting, aggressive. We're going to get after it. And I'm excited for it. But I expect this team to respond and come out and punch the Rams in the mouth early and often. And I expect this pass rush to get after Matthew Stafford, because that Rams offensive line is not good. Not good at all. Got to be able to stop the run, though. Kyron Williams is actually really good. They like to run the ball.
Running back. Yeah, for sure.
So, but I expect this defense to be very pissed off and come out to prove a point. We're the better team. We're going to come out here. We're going to fuck y'all up. It's game time. So that's what I expected, at least from this defense, if not this entire team. So
let's go.
I'm excited for it, man. I'm excited for the opportunity. But if you lose this game, we said it earlier, that sways the whole confidence and the whole mentality of at least the fan base. Now, we don't necessarily know inside the locker room what guys are thinking, but this fan base, if we drop 2 straight coming out of the bye, then that's when the concerns start. And we start to say, okay, what the hell is going on? The Rams are not a good team. How could we lose to this Rams team? And you know, then it's a new season. But if you
losing to the Rams gonna hit a little different. It's gonna hit a little different. Yeah.
If you win this game and you're coming out of it and you say, okay, we got the Colts, we got the Jaguars, we got the Titans, I believe the Bears, the Cardinals, all out in front of us, all games that we should be favored in. So then you kind of get that little chip off your shoulder of, okay, we're 6-1 now. Let's get it rolling again. Let's go on another 5-game winning streak.
That's what I see. I see another 5-game at least win streak happening, man, with this football team.
And then you're sitting at 10-1.
Trade for Dexter Lawrence too.
Dexter Lawrence.
PSA.
Sorry, Giants fans. Sorry.
PSA, Giants fans. We're coming to get them, man. Don't worry. We got our big accounts, man. Our big Viking Twitter accounts, man. They busting shots, man. They stealing Dexter Lawrence post game conferences and twisting it up and cutting it and clipping it, man. He told us he wants to come to Minnesota. We heard it. We heard it.
Yeah, we heard it.
To win.
He wants to win. He's sick of y'all shit over there in New York. He wants to win.
Even though he looks like a substitute teacher, like a defensive line, high
I'll
school
take him.
line
I'll
coach.
take him.
Like,
Fuck it. Be our substitute teacher. Shit.
but anything you guys want to leave the people before we get out of here?
On to the LA Rams.
Yeah.
On to 6-1.
Yeah.
We good. Trade for Dexter Lawrence or Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that every week.
Until it happens.
Skull.
Yeah, man.
right.
Shout out everybody that tapped in, man. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for hitting the sub button on the channel, man. The channel's been growing at a crazy
Over 500,
level, man. Yeah. So shout out everybody, man. We couldn't do this without y'all. We appreciate y'all, man, and we're glad y'all enjoy the show. Tell a friend to tap in with us, man. Let's go Vikings, man. We got to bounce back. The bounce back gonna look nice. I can't wait to talk about it in post game.
Yeah, ass whooping coming. Can't wait for it. But again, appreciate you guys for tapping in. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. As well, follow us on Instagram and TikTok. We're gonna have our clips back up. We had a little technical difficulties, but we're gonna have our shorts back up this week. We're gonna have them going. But again, appreciate you guys for tapping in. It's always a great time. It's your boy SK, Realistic Randy, Rap. This is the Purple Parlor. Until next time, y'all. Peace. Skol Vikings.
I say the same. I say the same.